KLK 102.5 FM. Good morning to you on your Monday. It's December 11th, 2023. This is Community Conversations. Get Wonders in the studio with you. I am joined by Shamal Carter, president of the Craighead County chapter of the NAACP, as he always comes in on the second Monday of December. So, Shamal, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How's everybody else doing out there?
All right. Just doing pretty good on this cold day.
It is cold.
All right. So, what are the latest updates with the Craighead County unit?
We have several things going on right now with our unit. I was elected the state political action committee chair.
Well, congratulations on that.
I appreciate it. And so we have a lot of things coming down the pipeline. We had a meeting on yesterday, and one of the things that we've always heard is that, Arkansas is a non-voting state. And so right now we're putting an emphasis on not only registering voters, but again, as we've done in the past, finding ways to address the issue on ways to get people out to vote. It's a big thing. It's not just minorities not voting. It's just a non-voting state in general. So we're putting an emphasis on that. We're also addressing the same issue with the AP African American history. We're in the works of discussing a few things with a few people because we have questions that need answers. Some of the questions would be, one, if you guys feel as if African American history is indoctrinating students, what is American history doing? What is any other history that's not any other history period, because it speaks from one's perspective in the words of our governor. So I'm honestly looking to really get behind that to kind of see what we can get done. Yes, schools are still offering it, but I do want to know, according to the LEARNS Act, how it's hurting or indoctrinating our students. So those are some big issues that we're focusing on. We have an election coming up next year. And so we really, really want to get people involved. And I know a lot of people are focused on the presidential election, but as you hear me say all the time, it starts local first. And so we have to focus on our local races and kind of do our research for ourselves. In the position that I am in, I am not promoting one candidate or the other. I'm promoting who's best for the job. My personal opinion or affiliation has nothing to do with my position as the president. So I have took the time out to research some of the candidates. So that's the biggest focus we have right now.
And of course, as I always say, especially when it comes to these local seats, somebody is going to sit in that chair and they're going to make decisions that are going to affect you. So you definitely should educate yourself and you should vote. And of course, if you notice some of the things that have been going on lately in city government, whether you agree with them or disagree with them, those decisions were ultimately made by a mayor and a city council that was ultimately elected and was elected whether you decide to vote for or against those individuals or not. So again, can't stress enough the importance of voting. So we're getting close to the end of the year. Is the chapter plan then doing Christmas, any drives or any community service, anything to kind of help with the kids, anything like that?
We're currently working on a community feeding between now and Christmas Eve. I have not locked in a location or a date, but I'll get that to you guys as soon as possible. We're going to have our annual Christmas potluck that's open to members in the community, and that'll be the third Monday, so that'll be next Monday, the 18th. At 6 p.m. at the Eben Watson Center, and that's our annual potluck. Just kind of closing out the year, no business, just kind of just enjoying each other and just having a good time.
Okay, and is there a meeting tonight?
There's not a meeting tonight.
Okay.
There's not a meeting tonight. So we'll meet on the 18th, which is the third Monday, and then at the beginning of the year, our executive body meeting will be on the 2nd instead of the instead of the 1st.
Bless you again.
Thank you. But it'll be on the 2nd instead of the 1st because the 1st falls on New Year's Day.
Okay. And of course, looking ahead to 2024, before we know it, we will be against the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Will the Craighead County chapter of the NAACP participate in any of the MLK festivities?
Yes. We of course, with me being a minister of music, I'm big on the musical that we normally have with the kids on the night, on that Sunday night. My education chair, Garrett Barnes, is currently in talk with the youth director with the MLK, Mr. Patrick Bean, Elder Patrick Bean, and then we're trying to put some stuff together educational for our kids. One thing, like I said, we're putting the emphasis on voting rights. I want the younger generation coming up to understand what our ancestors went through to get those rights. And for you to have those rights and not exercise your right to do so, it's kind of like a slap in the face. That's like me telling you, I'll give you $1 million, but then you say I don't want it. It's not fair.
That would happen. That wouldn't happen because we would accept that donation. we would put you on the $1 million record on the donor wall.
But that's one of those things where we're focusing on, and we're hoping that in collaboration with the MLK youth department as well as the MLK in general, we can do some voters education. We could set up some voter registration tables throughout this wonderful event, and we can be able to reach more people through education, because education is empowerment. If you know better, you do better, and we're hoping if we can give them the opportunity to know better, then they can make better decisions.
And of course, the NAACP is willing to come out to your event to do voter registration or voter education. I know that we've had them at KLEK events. And so if you have an event that's going on in the community, please reach out to Shamal, and they will happily come out, set up a table. You know, they can even kind of set up off in the corner so they don't bother the rest of the festivities. But, you know, we definitely want to make sure that we get people educated and get people voting. Again, KLEK is not going to tell you who to vote for, but you know, we just want to see you voting.
And I can't tell you who to vote for, but I want to see you voting. I would rather someone lose a race. And I use this example. Last year I ran for the Quorum Court, Justice of the Peace. Mm. And in my district, maybe 140 people showed up to vote. My opponent, he lost because I actually won the primary. Just some other issues kept me from running in the primary or the general. But literally, I won by 6 votes.
And so, just think if 7 people, you know, had changed their mind.
Right.
You know, it would have went the other way.
Right. And then if you think about it, just in one neighborhood, there's 100+ people as far as that should be registered to vote. If you look at that Allen Park area all the way back over to Colony Drive and that area down there by CRDC, so on and so forth, there's more than 100 voting people in that general area. And so that district runs a little farther. That district actually runs a little farther than that, but that's just a general area of where the district is. But it's more than 100 people in that area. So if more people had showed up and voted, you know, I'm not going to say it would have turned out one way or another, but at the end of the day, if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. And if you don't have a voice, you can't make decisions within your community. Or I say this all the time when I get up and speak, if you're not going to vote, keep your complaint to yourself. That's my opinion, because you're taking your own voice away when you don't vote.
Absolutely. And of course, as I always say, somebody is going to sit in that chair and make a decision that's going to affect you. All right, Jamal, is there anything else that you want to touch on or cover before we have to get off here?
So one thing that I do want to let you guys know, don't just vote on people, vote on issues. You know, and when I say vote on issues, I mean like the Quorum Court and the library, the situation with the library board members and so on and so forth. Let's vote for these tax cuts or these tax increases and all these different things that are going on that get put on the ballot. You know, do your research when it comes to the people that are going to take these seats, because, like you said, somebody's going to take that seat, even if it's not who you want it to be. So that's my take on that today.
All right, and we thank you so much for joining us today on Community Conversations. But we're not going to get off just yet. We're going to take a break. And back, we'll have Shanquetta Cunningham of the CARES Group going to be talking about the Over a Cup soiree and the upcoming nonprofit summit. So lots of good things that are going on in the community. You guys have a great and blessed day. This is KLEK, 102.5 FM.